Hi, Lily. Alright, I'm going to spend a few minutes and demonstrate Lily's obedience commands. I want you to kind of be taking note of how I'm issuing the commands, what I'm saying, and then this will act as a reference for you moving forward if you ever want to go back and see exactly how I would be issuing her commands. A couple things to note out quickly. All of her obedience commands are going to have what I call an implied stay. So when we put her in a sit, a down, a place, or heel, or come, which is all of her commands, there's always a built-in implied stay, which means she has to maintain that position until she's released. Her release command, the word for release is going to be break. And that means the dog's then free to go off and do what she wants. We're going to have to look back at our notes to see if Lily's allowed on furniture or not. It's an easy fix if we don't want her up on the couch. Good girl. Alright, so the first one that we're going to do is Lily's recall. I'm actually going to release her and let her go outside and then call her back to me. Good girl, Lily. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Lily, break. Break. Good girl. Go. Good girl. Break. Good girl. Alright, so at this point, when I say break, she's allowed to essentially go off and do whatever she'd like. This is when I still don't let her jump on people, I don't let her bolt outdoors and stuff. But otherwise, she can kind of step around. She does a lot of hanging out. There she goes, good. So she's going over, maybe looks like she's going to get a drink of water. Alright, so when we're calling her back to us, we're going to say her name and then come, which means to come all the way to us. Lily, come. Good girl. As she's coming back, I praise her. Good girl. Very nice. I don't care if she stands, sits, or lies down. No. Good girl, Lily, come. But she can't walk away from me. Very good. So when I said no, I also hit a very low-level stimulation to remind her that she can't just wander off. Because come, Lily. Good girl, come. Good. It has a built-in stay, which means she has to stick around just like that. Good girl. Let's do one more for demonstration purposes. Lily, break. Good girl. Good. Break. Good girl. Break. Good. Lily, come. Good girl. Good girl. That's much better. Good girl. All right, that is Lily's recall. All right, the next two commands that we're going to talk about, we're going to actually combine into one segment. This would be the sit and the down. So with the sit command, it just means the dog has to put her butt on the floor and she has to hold that position until she's released with the break command. Lily, come on, come on. Good girl, come here. Good girl. Good. Lily, sit. Good girl. Good. Good. She's a little tired. So I don't necessarily care if she does a sit or a down. As long as she stays in that stationary spot, that's okay with me. If we were doing any type of competition obedience, obviously this wouldn't suffice, but for a pet dog, that's just fine. Alright, so once she's in the command, now she's in a down, I'm going to demonstrate that you can do things like walking around the dog, adding in a little bit higher level distractions like something like this, just to kind of test the dog a little bit. Good girl, Lily, down. We proof the dogs to be able to stay in a down for anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. So once they go into a down, it's okay for them to settle in like that. Good girl, Lily, down. We do a lot of work teaching them that knocking on the door, opening and closing doors, isn't a trigger for the dog to get up and break command. Alright, the only time that the dog can then get up is when we give her a nice clear Lily, break. Good girl. Very good. Alright, so that was her down. Now with the sit command, Lily, come on. Hey, Lily, come on. I'll use the sit for other things like this, like changing the dog's equipment. Lily, good girl. Sit. Good. So I can give her a couple pets, maybe like adjust her collars or adjust her equipment. Good girl. Sit. And she has to maintain that position. Very good. Sit. Good girl. Even if I do jumping jacks or say funny things like chicken, popcorn. Very good. Lily, break. Good girl. Very good. Alright, that's Lily's sit and down. This command is very important for the dog. This is going to be her place command. And what place is? It's where we send the dog to a predetermined object, whether it be a dog bed, a piece of carpet. In this case, I train the dogs on like an elevated dog bed. So what place means is you go to this spot and you stay there until you're released with the break command. And this is where we do a lot of our duration work, which we proof this up to 2 or 3 hours. And we add in a ton of distraction like other dogs, bouncing balls, running by, things like that. So this is the place command. When you're first introducing this to Lily at her home, you're going to want to have her on a leash, or at least be ready to show her the new place command. All right, you have to teach them what object you're going to be using. So we say, Lily, come on, Lily, come on, good girl. Lily, place. Good. Once she goes on to the bed, I can move away. If she were to try to follow me, I simply tell her no, place, or give her a little low-level stimulation to remind her. Good girl, Lily, place. Good. She has to stay there until she's released. Lily, break. Good girl. Good girl. Lily, place. This is an excellent command. As you can see, that's enough. That's enough. Place. Hey, that's enough. Good girl, place. As you can see, I put it here in kind of the mock living room so that I can do things like sit down and relax. And if nobody's around, play video games. So that the dog understands that they can be in the room and they can be with you or with the family, but they have to stay on their designated spot even if other people sit down. I take it a step further and I do things like getting low to the ground like this. All right, it's a good chance to do your push-ups. So that the dog learns that even if someone's down there, they have to maintain their position. This is Lily's place command. She's done a wonderful job with this. I kind of call it like a meditation mat for dogs. This really helps with the state of mind of the dog, learning to live in a little bit calmer space. Very good. Lily, good girl. That is Lily's place command. All right. Now we're going to showcase Lily's heel command. Heel basically means that the dog needs to move with you, beside you or slightly behind you. I don't necessarily care if she's on your left or right side, but I want the dog to be in a follower state of mind and just kind of strolling along with you. Okay, so we put the dog on the leash. This will be good for nice long walks. This will be good for going out to the kids' sporting events, stuff like that, where you're going to have the dog on the leash and we give the dog a nice clear command. Lily, heel. Good. I'll kind of talk to you about this as I'm going through it. The main components of the heel are starting and stopping, like this. Lily, heel. Heel. Good. So she has to start with me. If I stop, she has to stop. Good girl. Heel. Good. Left and right turns. Okay, so as I'm walking along and I want to turn right, she has to come with me. There you go. Good girl. Good. Left turns, just cut her off kind of. You want to be in a nice leadership role, really own the walk to be most successful with this. Good girl. Heel. The last thing I'm going to discuss is change of pace. So if I want to take the dog for a jog, I can pick up my pace. She needs to pick up her pace right along with me. And then if I slow down, she needs to adjust to my speed accordingly and walk nice and slow with me if we wanted to take a stroll. Alright, so the heel command, it's very good when you're taking her for nice long walks, taking her out in public, things like that. It'll be on leash heel. You can still use the remote to enforce the command. Alright, that's Lily's heel command.